What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. So this is going to be another album reaction for this segment, and today I'm going to be listening and reacting to the brand new album from one of my very favourite solo musicians of all time, Bjork, entitled Fossora. I am so interested to dive into this. This is her first album of new material in 5 years, and I have been admiring a lot of her music for some time now. Let's just go into this with just this amount of the anticipation. I'm going to speed the songs up as always because I don't want to get copyright claimed, and that's just the way it is, unfortunately. So, track number 1. By the way, there are some track titles that I don't want to pronounce, so I'll add the text to them in this video. Track number 1. Atopos. Okay, so most of the time instrumentally, this is not really challenging, but it's got that schizophrenic, awkward type of the beat, and I like that the other instruments that are involved in this still go on time, but the way that they try to, match separate notes wise, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a character in itself. I mean, that's what Bjork does very magically and in a unique way, which I really like so much. Bjork's voice still is going strong. A lot of that natural and like improvisational harmony. Okay, so that was the first track. Besides that frantic repetition of that compressed techno-style beat, I think that this is a really, really good track to start the album. It's quite minimal on the majority of the song, and it's got that hyper thing about it as well. Okay, so track number 2, Ovule. There's a lot of the vocal editing as I was hearing the harmonies, but they were placed in at the right moments because Bjork's vocals are all over in this composition, and while it's quite similar into this style like on the previous track, but I feel that there's a bigger presence in Bjork's melody on this one. She has a lot of these connecting ideas, and obviously she does pull it off extremely well. And this one is really nice, and it is just great to hear more of the vocals than the complexity of the music. Very nice one. And this has given me a bit of the vibe on one of my higher favourite Bjork albums, which was Vespertine. Okay, so track number 3, Mycelia. This is just 2 minutes of the most amount of vocal editing, like I've mentioned previously, but this is like a different form of avant-garde to me. Not much needed to be addressing, really, but you know, the amount of work for that type of random composition, that must have taken ages to do. There's just so much going on with just the choppiness. Track number 4, Sorrowful Soil. This is wonderful. Did not expect something like this. This has given me this immediate medulla vibe, and these harmonies are just so precisely executed. And even though that it is multi-tracked, but it does paint an imagery. And I know that can be cliche to address it, but it's one of these transcending ideas that does sound very resonating, and it attracts a listener in a very different way that I do admire artists like Bjork and anyone to think of a musical idea in your head and to see what stuff like this can come up with. This is amazing. One of my favourite songs on this album. I don't know what else to say about it other than this is just sublime. Track number 5, the longest song on this album, Ancestress. When I was a girl, she's unholy. In falsetto, remember by sincerity, I thank her for her integrity. My ancestress, God is giving heavens, I believe, I am his fading. I will hope he but I shall is there at all times. My ancestress has never knowledge. Her policy is in the alley. The doctor's machine is right. These bodies weaker, and it's like her. I know all the time, I call you back to this. Did you punish us, or even I should? We have to pass it just not written. She called videos and graphics sections for all with her. Dyslexia, the ultimate reward. She invents words and all is in love. I'm writing language. I immediately sense that this is one of the songs that's based about the passing of a mother. And I can definitely look at these lyrics and to think, that's about her. It's a bravery choice that Bjork decides to become very personal. And I know that she's been through personal stuff before, but to really believe in herself, to put in such a great craft and celebrate a loved one, these lyrics are just perfect. I do like the backing sounds like clocks ticking and other processed beats, and the melody that she sings has become memorable over time. Pretty lengthy composition, but this is brilliant.
You see with no eyes, but here is your life. There's still be a sort of bad look and love it. I know we share the same flesh, as much as I try to escape it. This is no mediocrity, my ancestors who feel the heart of all the time. I think who knows the perfume of separation for centuries. The perfume of separation for centuries. Yes. Reaching out the sound, and take times, things beyond. Come to sense you, let the red, I call it time, in and
Okay, I had to make another take because the phone decides to ask me for a software update, so I apologize that it had happened if it looked a bit awkward while you're watching this video. But that was a very powerful sentiment. It has so much emotional absorbing for any listener. Great stuff. It is powerful. So the next track, I'm not going to pronounce it, but I'll just put the text on the screen right now. Alright, so that was the less than a minute, I guess, beginning or an interlude to the next track, track number 7, Victimhood.
I eat the gorgeous hours. Victimhood, cause I simply glow. Holy earth and fire, it erased my shadow. Only birds I knew can hurt me from some this hard time. Who am I? What is me is always hard to do. Victimhood, rejection, in love, that is never satisfying. Something to do. Just around hopeless. Only birds I knew can hurt me from stress.
This is intensifying. I was listening to her singing, but then these fadings to speaker modes of switching these sounds back and forth, quite dark. This is to me something that is like profound, like one of the darkest compositions that I have just heard from Bjork. But it is still very, very cool. It eases so intensely. It is a quite a menacing experience. This track has a lot to digest because, you know, there's a lot into this experience. And sorry for the Facebook notifications. I know that I was not moving so much when I was listening to it, but I wanted to focus by what's going on. Björk's expression into this track is pretty haunting, and the instrumentation is, like I said, that darkness, but it's got that unsettling nature. Track number 8, which is Allow.
primordial plants crystalline. With moisture by lactate and realize my hair fascinates with salt and crust. I will breathe those twigs together, create a cosmic ceiling above me. I want to float like little, to reach my shades amongst impossible magic.
Love this one. I love this track. Just one of the strongest cuts. The way she expresses her breathy, clean, clear tones to the great flute playing and just this padded background beat. Oh, the textures into this track. Stunning. This is a masterpiece. This is my favourite song on this album. It's meditative and I love that ambience, that flowing to comforting and exquisite style that this track did make. I love this one right from the start. Track number 9, Fungal City.
We walk from this strong into mystery. Trunks bursting through walls from chest to his body polygraphs the space above my bed. Poison thought signature on my skin.
This is like a separate musical. As I was listening with the main parts of the music by itself, it's got a great rhythm with this one. And it's at some points like pretty upbeat. It's got that like the tribal type of thing. I don't know if that is like the right term. I really like this one. It's just accompanying with a great tone onto the harmonies, backing vocals that add such a delicate and match being made. Following that, after my favourite song on the album, which was the previous track.
This is party, beat, polarizes me. Like north south shifts to east west.
I think this one is brilliant. This does credit Serpent with Feet, whom I've never heard of, but that sound from Serpent with Feet, he did a great job, and I like his own like soulful addition with this track. Would be one of my new favorites. I'm really impressed with this album for a lot of these places so far. I mean, I'm more than halfway through the record. Track number 10, which is another, I think, like an interlude or just a small composition. I'm not going to pronounce this. I'm just going to add the text again. This near 2-minute instrumental piece is pretty much like on a similar flavor like on the other 2-minute one, the third track on the record. Some more stuff into it, banging, clanging, like a mechanical, industrial part to it. To me, it's not one of the strongest compositions, but I do appreciate and respect the idea. Track number 11, Free Fall.
Free fall. I let myself free fall into your arms, into the shape of the love we created. Our emotional hammer conceived inside the fabric of this open memory. Every time we kiss, share songs and hymns, hiding mountains and beaches, our joint presence gives form, our affections captured in the structure. Please tell us something for love into space. If we can do it, our soul will get it. The less clear is absolute, just some real.
Classical oriented piece, and there were sections to it that at points takes me in a bit of like that film thriller or noir type of thing, but when it goes off with various different signatures in these keys and registers. It does portray a theatrical idea, and that's what I really enjoy a lot on here.
Become one. Our solar systems coalesce, softly surrender into itself, formed a nebulous hollow, a gentle meeting of cosmic dust. We amalgamate, architects can compassionate, illuminate, 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 illuminate,
Very good. And I think that the second half into this instrumentation was the better part, but the first half was irresistible. It's really smooth, and like I said, it's theatrical. So great that there's more variety that's been put into this album, just like what Bjork has been doing for a long time in her career. This is not as an experimental album like Homogenic or Vespertine or, Post, but this is something that could be really new for the later fans of Bjork to discover, that she has been very progressive, and I adore her for that. Track number 12, the title track, Fossora. This piece of music is pretty jolly, whereas with the rest of the record has that impending to melancholic and this ominous experience. But this title track has got a great wordplay, and the chorus is very memorable just because of the way that her notes from her exploration just works into this perfect vibe with this song. And instrumentally is got various soundscapes involving that kind of like a dub, ambient dub type of effect that bounces along. I did enjoy this one, although as soon as I had said my comments earlier on the halfway point of the track, that dubstep-y, booming bass beat went on in a very repetitive way, put this enjoyment off a little bit. It was like a bit much, but nonetheless, pretty solid song. And the last track on the album, Her Mother's House.
The space in your voice shows the state of your compassion. Tone of your voice reveals the space to give up there. A dry voice comes from a stingy heart. A moist voice comes from abundance. More freedom and give.
This one beautifully finales this record with, again, that return on that ambience and these vocal textures. As I've said that a few times, love hearing the sound of flute and just the overall sound of it, like that mournful dedication to her mother, just like with Ancestress. Really nice song, really nice.
A mother's house has a room for each child. It's only its right in there of her heart. Painted with red clay, invitations are not crap, but they're fading and
Absolutely glorious. Glorious track to close this album off. I think this is probably the most personal record that Bjork has done in ages. Just like what the theme from Volnicura was. And just to go through the aftermath on these different things, I love that Bjork can paint these things in separate expressions. Bjork can always be this versatile and different, like nobody else can do something like what she's been doing. It's just one of those things that Bjork, for some people, yes, can be challenging. But when it goes into a big shift from a massively experimental album to something like this, just makes it even bigger that art can still be as profound and cleverly thought-provoking. And I will save my thoughts for this album for my full review. I am so glad that Bjork is back with a new album, and if you have heard of this record, tell me what you think in the comments. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.